Digger Ice gets over the finish line.
Welcome to MonsterCast, the podcast giving you the stories and insights of the monster truck world you won't find anywhere else. And now, giggity, 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 your hosts Cameron Miguez and Mason Paul.
Wow, what a great audience we have going on right now.
Beautiful audience. Beautiful. Thank you, everybody. We'll be here all week.
Well, at least for an hour.
Yeah, at least for an hour. So I just want to start off by saying, as everybody can see, we've got a new intro. We decided to change things up, spice things up. So I have to give 99.7% of the credit all to Mason. Amazing job on all that, editing, putting all that together. And I don't know if you guys noticed our pictures at the very end of it, but pay attention. Those are probably going to change over time just to keep it fresh and real and new and vibrant and upbuilding and something for you guys to look for, because odds are that's probably going to be the most interesting part of the entire hour is that second right there.
Yeah. So I have to say to that.
Okay. So, all right. So we got a few things to talk about. First off, Mason, what do you know about shows? I know about a couple this weekend. What do you know about going on this weekend?
I know that in Post Falls, Idaho, the Paint Gang, they're going to be there. Going to have Identity Theft with Urza Wilson, Tim Manchester debuting Powerhouse, actually. They debuted the new body at the open house, but it's actually going to do its first show there. Now, Cali Kid and Dwight Matthews, Spitfire and John Bruce. Of course, Billy Payne and Rockstar. What else do we have? Oh, also in Senoia, Georgia, you can catch all the Botters Clan along with Cody Saucier actually driving Overkill Evolution. We've seen him drive quite a bit of trucks in the past, so I know he's always brought his game about any other truck he's drove in, so can't wait to see what he's going to do in that killer truck there. And who else was in that lineup? We also have Skart Hartsock in Gunslinger, and RJ Turner in War Wizard. Those are the two I don't have.
Well, the two I got are East Moline, Illinois. It's a 2 Extreme show. Be all 4 Gems trucks, Bounty Hunter, Scarlet Bandit, Iron Outlaw, Jekyll and Hyde, and then also Too Tall and Kamikaze. Those 5 trucks will be there, so that'd be a good show. And then the show I'm actually going to this weekend, I'm pretty excited about, is a Summer National show down in Wichita Falls, Texas. And it's 2 of Mike Harper's trucks and my brother's 2 trucks. And filling in for Kaylin driving her Jailbird truck is actually my son, Nick, this week. So I'm going to go crew for him. So I'm pretty excited about that. See how he does. Hopefully he does not completely embarrass me.
Well, he's watching live now, so don't let your dad down. That's all I can tell you, dude.
Good luck. Good luck, bud. No pressure. Something else I wanted to talk about. So it's a couple months away, but we got something kind of cool coming up. We've been working with Crush This, Cheech and Brad, and our plan is Hall of Fame week. We are going to actually do a week of Hall of Fame episodes, not intertwined. We're going to do our Sunday and our Wednesday episodes. They're going to do their Tuesday, their Thursday, but we're going to have all Hall of Fame guests that week and just kind of a combined deal. I'm going to talk to Cheech about me and Cheech getting together and doing something kind of cool that week as well. I really haven't talked to him about it, so save that for when it gets closer. But so anybody who didn't watch the Dave Wyzorek episode last night, I crushed this. It was a really good episode, and Dave's a cool guy and had some cool stories. So you guys get a chance, check that out, but not till this one's over. So with that said, Mr. Mason, has our guest arrived?
Yep, we're ready to go.
All right. Well, I say let's bring on our guest, Miss Krysten Anderson.
bad to the bone. I broke 1,000 hearts before I met you.
Oh,
Hey,
Got
guys.
Gotta hate that song.
You hear it in your nightmares?
Oh, Miss Krysten Anderson, how are you, dear?
Good. How are y'all doing?
Good. Appreciate you coming on, taking time out of your busy schedule.
Oh, yeah. Super busy, sitting around doing a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah. Well, sometimes that takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's harder to do nothing sometimes than it is to do something, I believe.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, so what has lockdown 2020 been like for you so far? What have you been up to?
Oh, man, honestly, I was kind of born to quarantine. Just kind of sitting in the house, sleeping, eating, watching TV, not doing a whole lot. Yeah, I mean, it's basically, this has worked out for me great. Sorry for the rest of the population, but this has worked out for me really great. But no, I mean, kind of just sitting around waiting to get back in a monster truck, man. That's the most thing that I've been doing is really holding down my bed sheets, making sure they don't go anywhere, making sure the TV remote doesn't run off, and working at the diner, Digger's Diner, for my dad a little bit this summer, trying to stay busy and hanging out with Adam and Ryan and the boys all the time.
Yeah, that's my wife and daughter say the same thing. They say they were built for this, and so they're actually finally get to come into their own in quarantine.
Oh yeah, I know. I swear I thought I was waiting my whole life to drive a monster truck, but I think I was born to quarantine, I think I found my calling.
So you're hoping this never lifts.
Yeah, this is great, like this would be awesome if this quarantine never lifted. The stay home order is great, just don't have to work, don't have to do nothing.
Just go in, work a couple days a week, just enough to pay a bill or two, and go back to doing it.
Yeah, just enough to be a citizen, just to work enough to be a useful citizen and pay a couple bills and just enough to pay for my Netflix, maybe. Maybe some.
I say right now, we decided it. I think Krysten Anderson for governor.
Yeah.
he just ran on a platform people can get behind.
I know.
But,
no kidding.
Well, all right. So normally when we have our guests on, we always talk about how they kind of got started in the business. But I think everybody pretty well knows how you did. But I'm more curious of Krysten Anderson as a little girl. Wow. Okay, that sounded really creepy. Hang on. So, like, what it was like growing up the Anderson family? I mean, we've all seen the videos of crazy things that the boys doing. I mean, I can remember watching a video of Teeny Man, like 11 years old, up in a suburban camper and shit like that. But you being the girl, were you doing that crazy stuff too, or they kind of hold you back from that?
No, I mean, growing up in a house full of boys, it was always pretty rowdy. Especially growing up with Adam and Ryan, and Weston, he's just as rowdy too. But yeah, I think that was more Adam and Ryan were out there, giving dad gray hair, giving mom gray hair, out in the field, wrecking four-wheelers and side-by-sides and getting in trouble and things like that. But I did a fair share of that too. But when I was younger, I was really close with my dad. I know when my dad wasn't on the road, he was, always home tinkering, working, doing something. That's kind of where Adam gets it from. So I'd be in the shop with dad, playing with little monster truck toys or playing with a stick or 2x4 or something like that. Just anywhere in his shadow. I'd sit and ride on equipment with dad all day long while he was running excavators and bulldozers and stuff. But dad, he took a little while to actually get me into like four-wheelers and things like that. I don't know if it's because I was his little girl and his only little girl or what the deal was with that. But I remember Adam and Ryan had gotten their first four-wheelers or their first dirt bikes or anything probably when they were like 2 or 3. and I had to wait till like my 7th birthday before I got a 4-wheeler. So it took him a while to get me into it, but I got my first 4-wheeler. My dad got it for me on my 7th birthday, and I was out all day long. You know, Adam and Ryan had built this really awesome 4-wheeler track, and they were out there jumping jumps and doing doubles, and I was just out there just trying to keep up with my little 50 little Kawasaki and running around with them. But I've always kind of had a passion for motorsports just because that's how we grew up. You know, that's what Dad had us doing. When Ryan was into mega truck racing, he was racing his son of a digger. You know, we'd go out and cheer for him. Same thing for Adam when he had his bad company truck for a little while. And it's kind of what my life consisted of. We traveled a lot. Dad always had us traveling to mud bogs and stuff for the boys, or going out to Monster Jam and monster truck events. But Dad was he was pretty fun when we were, I mean, he's still fun now, but he was pretty fun when we were younger. He always wanted to do some pretty fun stuff, go on some kind of vacation or anything like that. And we didn't always take like, you know, trips to Universal or Disney World, or he always took us camping or, you know, sightseeing up the coast to California and, you know, Washington and Oregon. We had a really fun childhood, to be honest. I mean, it wasn't just always, you know, 4-wheelers and side-by-sides and stuff. We got to see a lot when we were young kids.
Well, now, did you do any of the mud racing, any of that stuff? I mean, did you get into that at all?
No, actually, when I had gotten my first like real taste of it I was about probably 17, maybe 16 or 17, and Weston, they were taking, you know, Ryan's son of a digger, his mega truck, and they were converting it into the first generation bog hog for Weston. And I just wanted to drive, you know. I had always been, you know, out on 4-wheelers or whatever with the boys, but I had never really driven anything with a whole lot of horsepower or been behind the wheel of anything serious like that. So I got in Weston's first first bog hog, went out there, did some hole shots with it, jumped it, loved it. And then a couple years later, that's when I got my start with Monster Jam, and that's where it's been ever since, is monster trucks every day, all day.
Well, before we get too far into this, we have a segment on here. It's called the Fact of the Week, and we have a young man out of Arizona by the name of Christopher Allen that always comes in and fills us in on our guest, usually knows more about our guest than our guest does. So, Mason, let's see what Christopher Allen has to say about Krysten Anderson.
Hi there, monster truck fans. Christopher Allen, the one and only monster truck guru, has returned once again for an episode of Monster Truck Fact of the Week. This recording is about the digger's daughter, Krysten Anderson. With her dad and brothers, Adam and Ryan, already tearing up stadiums around the globe, Krysten decided it was natural to follow them into Monster Jam. The first step in doing this was training at the Monster Jam University facility in Paxton, Illinois. Her first active year of competition in Monster Jam was 2017 on the Triple Threat Series, which performs in small arenas around the nation. She has since become a mainstay here. Coincidentally, 2017 was also the 35th anniversary of Gravedigger's creation. By the time that year's World Finals came around, in which Krysten was a participant in the All Gravedigger Encore, she had already wrapped up her first overall event championship. Since then, Krysten has appeared at the World Finals with regularity as a competitor in the Double Down Showdown race bracket. With experience and improvement, it's easy to imagine Krysten as future Monster Jam elite alongside her brothers. Krysten's fact is that before getting the chance to join Team Gravedigger's ranks, including becoming the first ever female driver of Gravedigger, she was planning to study studio art and design in college so she could eventually design Monster Jam trucks of the future. And that's this episode of Monster Truck Fact of the Week, fans. Please like Monster Truckin' with Jim and Chris on Facebook and Instagram for loads of superb Monster Truck Show content, including all new coverage coming this weekend from East Moline, Illinois, our first new coverage in months. Please like this page for new episodes, and of course, Monster Trucks Forever.
Well, that pretty much covers it, Krysten. Thanks for being on.
Yeah, I mean, for real. Gosh, they didn't even need me. That was pretty. That was pretty thorough. They didn't miss a beat. Right on.
He did. He named off everything but shoe size.
I know, no kidding. I wonder if he knows my birthday and my sign and everything else.
Probably. Let's call it April and something. Virgo something. Call it that. See what happens. So he said something about you studying studio art and design. Was that something you were actually trying to pursue instead of driving originally, or?
Yes, that is actually. So when Dad gave us, two options when we were about to graduate high school, and he was like, after high school, you're either going to go to college or you're going to drive monster trucks. And Adam and Ryan, they were just kind of skating by through school, doing what they had to do, especially Adam. Ryan was kind of studious, but definitely Adam. They were just, making their way, trying to get through high school, and then they were going to jump right in the seat of a truck. I actually did really well in high school. I graduated, top 10 in my class. I had honors. I had a college portfolio put together, art portfolio. I had been in all of the AP art classes, like advanced placement art. And I was, thinking about going to college and really, getting a degree in graphic design because I am artistic and I can do all kinds of studio art. And studio art is kind of limited to, painting on canvases and those charcoal drawings and the graphite drawings and any kind of medium that's like a hands-on medium. But the whole world now is digital and everything's on your phone or on TV or something. So I didn't really have that kind of know-how. So I was going to go to college and learn how to, get advanced in graphic design. And I wanted to get a job with Monster Jam, designing the bodies because I was inspired by my dad's, really iconic graveyard scene that was painted on the side of his truck. I always thought it was such a cool design, and I would love to take some of my skill and some of my know-how and make some really cool trucks for Monster Jam. But when I turned 18 in the summer of 2016, I got a call from Monster Jam, and my dad's 35th anniversary, or Gravedigger's 35th anniversary, was coming up the next year, and they had never had a female drive Gravedigger. They wanted to do something big for the 35th anniversary, and they were also adding a third Triple Threat series. So they needed a driver, and they were like, well, you're the only Anderson girl, and we've never had a girl drive Gravedigger, so who better than for you two? So I was like, well, I mean, college isn't going anywhere. My art skills aren't going anywhere. I always do them in my side time. Not a lot of people know that, but I still create. I still do art. I still paint. I still do freelance work for people whenever they want to. But yeah, I put my art portfolio away and I went on the road, and I've been there for 4 years now.
Okay, well, enough about the bragging about how smart you were in school. Okay, let me down. I'm almost great. Okay.
I had to, man. I mean, geez. When you've got brothers like Adam and Ryan out there and they're making us sometimes look dumb, I was pretty smart. I was actually a pretty smart kid.
Well, yeah, okay. You got a point there. I'll give you that one.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about Adam and Ryan here.
Yeah, and I've seen the other places besides on the track. And, whoo, yeah.
Not the greatest decision-making skills.
Yeah. You know when a story starts with, it should work. It's going to be interesting. But, all right. So let's talk about you moving into a Gravedigger. I mean, you're the first female driver. You're an Anderson. But unlike your brothers, you're going straight into Dad's truck. I mean, you're going straight into the digger. Pressure or not too worried about it? How was that approach?
Oh man, I had so much pressure on me, and I had already put so much pressure on me to begin with before I even got to my first show in Nashville that year in January 2017. They told me, I was driving Gravedigger, and I was like, holy crap. Like that's a big deal. Like to be a rookie and that to be, your first year truck, and that's, Monster Jam's most iconic truck, and that's a big deal. It has a lot of fans. And then on top of that, I have to deliver to my family's fans. And because I'm an Anderson, I always felt like people wanted me to deliver what Adam and Ryan and my dad have always delivered, but they also would forget that I was brand new and I was kind of learning, on the road in front of everybody else. And so there was an immense amount of pressure. A lot of it I put on myself. Some of it I felt a little from the fans, but I wouldn't have done my first year any different. I mean, it had a little rocky beginning trying to learn and get my feet underneath of me. And I was trying to cater to the Anderson fans, the Gravedigger fans, the Monster Jam fans, but I was also there to prove something for all the ladies. This was a really big deal for all the girls in motorsports and in Monster Jam. And, anybody that keeps up with us, it took 35 years to put a female in the seat of Gravedigger. And I was the first one. And so I'm the one that's creating that pathway for other girls that could be like me or other girls that will drive Gravedigger in the future or anything. And I'm kind of I don't know, it was just a lot of pressure and I put a lot of it on myself. And but like I said, some of the fans were a little brutal my first year, but I needed it. I needed the criticism because some of the fans can be brutally honest, but that's kind of what it takes sometimes. And I would just brush it off. Adam, Ryan, my dad, they really helped me get through my first year. But once I got that first year under my belt, I just started learning so quickly. And I started picking it up more and more and more. And, watching my brothers and watching old videos of my dad and taking their advice. And I wouldn't have done my first year any other way. I think I really needed it to go that way so I could do a lot of learning and do a lot of adjusting and adapting. And I feel like I'm actually pretty comfortable or pretty satisfied with where my skills are at right now coming into my 4th year. So it was a rough start, but it's been so far so good.
Well, so how do you separate yourself? I mean, like I said, Adam and Ryan were fortunately enough, to come out and start in other trucks and kind of build their name that way. And of course, now Adam's behind the wheel of Gravedigger, but already had world championships under his belt. Ryan went into Son of a Digger, so it's kind of his own identity. But you don't have. I mean, how do you separate yourself to where you're not just Anderson in the Gravedigger, but you're Krysten? I mean, how do you do that in a truck as well?
I don't know. I think it's probably it really is hard, honestly. I mean, I know that I am the only female driver, so that obviously does separate me. But it's how does it separate me from Adam and Ryan and Dad? And not that I want to be separated. I mean, we're all the Anderson family. We're the Anderson siblings. We like to all, stay together. But I don't know. I kind of started developing maybe my own style of driving. A lot of people tell me that my style of driving reminds me of like my dad's old style of driving. And I was kind of bringing back my dad's old style of driving a little bit. And it's probably because he was helping me out a lot my very first year. But I hope that maybe one day I'll be able to make my way up the ranks a little bit and kind of earn my keep in, Dad's truck, in the black and green truck. And maybe one day I'll be able to get my own identity if I earn it, if I start creating my own fan base and people start getting, more attached to me, then maybe I'll be able to branch out and have my own identity like Ryan and have some kind of female spinoff of the Gravedigger truck. I think that would be really cool to keep it in the family, but maybe kind of separate us a little bit. I think that would be awesome.
Daughter, sister of a digger's cousin? I mean, something like that. What we're thinking?
Yeah, I'm so open to suggestions. I tell fans that all the time because I don't really know. Everybody says daughter of a digger because son of a digger. I'm like, but daughter of a digger just doesn't ring as good as son of a digger. I need something else, guys. You got to give me something else. I would love to keep Digger in it because that's just us. We're the Digger family, but I'm not sure what. Nothing has really, I've been thinking about this for I swear, probably 8 years now. I've been really heavily thinking about what my own truck would be, designing it. I have designs I've never showed anybody, but what would I call it? I have no idea what to call it. So if anybody is
all right, I've got it.
Out there,
I've got it.
Tell me. What?
Digger chick.
Digger chick? You like? Yeah? You think Digger chick?
Yeah. I think that's it.
Digger chick. My dad wants me to call it Diva Digger. I'm like, do I look like a diva to you, Dad? I don't think Diva Digger is the thing.
Well, so now, how many more arena years you got in you before you finally get into a stadium?
Oh man, I would, the very first time I ever got into a stadium and actually was at an event, and I was a competitor in the event, not just there at World Finals and the Double Down Showdown in racing or anything, was at the Monster Jam event that we had in Las Vegas, and it was the All-Star Challenge, and I was on
Okay.
Team Ice, and that's what my intro video was right there of me and the Blue Gravedigger. And I had a blast there in my debut in my first stadium. I think it was awesome. I can't knock the arena because I have been in the arena for the past 3 to 4 years, and it has given me lots of seat time. When Adam and Ryan started, they had told me what it was like. They weren't nearly starting at such a rapid pace that we are now. I mean, it is becoming, if people aren't seeing monster trucks doing backflips or doing minute-long nose wheelies and stoppies and bicycles and all this, they're not impressed, And back then, Adam and Ryan were just jumping not saying that, that's not cool or anything, but they were jumping school buses and blowing their back out. And everybody was, doing 65 donuts, and it was great. Everybody loved it. But now the competition is so fierce. And I had really gotten thrown to the wolves when I had first started, because I had to catch up, and the arenas kind of helped me with that, because we would do so many events in a weekend, so many shows. We could do 4 to 5 or even 6 shows in Rosemont, Illinois, and it gave me a lot of seat time and helped me catch up. And I'm glad that I got to go into the arena for my first year and kind of get my feet wet and get them under me. But I think I'm ready to stretch out in a stadium after getting a taste of it at Sam Boyd at the All-Star Challenge. That was a lot of fun. My freestyle got cut a little short just because I got a little happy and, wrecked like I always do. Wrecked, broke, whatever. But I'd like to have another chance of that and fill out a freestyle clock, fill a freestyle clock out, do some fast racing, do some long racing. I think that would be great. I would love to open up in a stadium if I could.
Well, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with arenas. I mean, to me, I think the best drivers come from arenas, because if you can learn how to put on a show and keep them fans really happy with just a single pod in the middle of the arena with 6 or 8 different hits, then you can go into a stadium and you should be able to just let loose. I mean, it's the only problem I see with people when they go from an arena to a stadium is it's very easy to get lost on that big floor, because you have 3 times the size floor. And so I see people get lost, but after a show or two, they move right in and start kicking the ass there.
Yeah, I agree. I had, it is very challenging to do the same freestyle on the same pod week in and week out and make it interesting. I mean, you're hitting the same 6 obstacles in the arena. I'm not taking anything away from it. You can make some really awesome, incredible freestyles out of the arena. But when I actually came from the arena and went out into the stadium, I felt like I was like this big out there. Like I remember coming out and hitting the first jump, and I just remember planning my first jump, because that's all everybody ever does, is just playing your first jump. So I went out there and planned my first jump, and I landed, and I was like, oh God, I'm still going. What do I do now?
Let me off.
I see, like, shut me off. I don't know what to do. I just, I landed. I saw the tires in front of me. I hit the car stack, turn around, and I didn't want to do the same thing in the arena that we always do, which is jump and turn, jump and turn, jump and turn. So I'm like, what do I hit next? Do I hit something crooked? I can't do that in the arena. Do I hit a backflip now? Like, I don't know. I remember my mind was going a million miles an hour, but I don't know. I kind of just tried to set my little switch there on kill, and I was like, hey, if it's in front of me, I'm hitting it, whatever. So that's kind of the mindset I took going in there. I remember I was having a little bit of problems with my truck, and I could not figure out for the life of me. I kept getting shut off in that freestyle, and I thought I was having some electrical problems or some relay problems at first with the radio, but I was like, there's no way, because my lights are not flashing. I go back in the video and my lane lights are not flashing. I'm like, what was I doing? I've never jumped that big or that hard before, and I guess my hand came off the steering wheel and pushed my power in when I was watching the end cap. So I just kept pushing my power in, and I just kept getting so mad. I'm like, radio to Doug. I'm like, Doug, what the heck is going on? And he's like, oh no. I'm like, well, stop. And he's like, I'm not doing anything. I'm like, okay. So I would just fire back up and keep going. But it took me like a solid month to be like, maybe we should switch the power to like in is on and out is off. Maybe that would be smart. So yeah, that was my problem, and it kind of tripped me up a little bit and broke my momentum, but I got right back into it. I just kind of came sweeping right back around, and you're right though. I can say that I did get a smidge lost out there, because after I hit that first jump, I was like, okay, what's next?
That would have been awesome if you would have just like pulled over for a second just to study. Just pulled over and be like, where the hell am I at? I don't know. Just throw your hands up.
Hold on. I'm going to turn the GPS on, guys. I don't really know. I think I'm lost. I forgot where I'm going.
Well, before we get to the fan questions, I got one other one for you. So I'm just kind of curious, the other drivers. I mean, I don't know who you're on tour. Who are you on tour with your first year? But how did they respond to you coming in? You know, of course, everybody's going to assume Anderson getting a grave digger. Oh, here we go, just handing or whatever, just because. I mean, how were they to you, and how did they take it when you come in and make your first? Did we lose you?
Well,
Oh, there you are.
Well, thankfully enough that when I had got started in 2017, that I got me. Here we go.
Okay, yeah, hang on a second.
I had
we got
gotten started in 2017. I was lucky enough to actually be on tour with 7 other people, with the exception of Matt Cody, that had no clue what they were doing, because they were all brand new. And a lot of them obviously had known my dad, and they know where I was coming from, and I think that they were kind of like, oh, you got me?
Yep, really, I get you. All right, she's fading in and out, Mason. Why don't we, Chris, if you can hear me, why don't you try backing out and coming back in, see if that clears up the signal at all. See,
Hang
Mason, this is where we need our sorry for technical difficulty thing to pop up. Damn it.
Yeah. Hang on. Let me try to see if I can flash up on screen, or bring her back on right now. We got a good cop ending now.
SOS.
There you are. SOS. That means you're in trouble. That's not asking for if I can hear you.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is anybody out there?
No, we've all left. We're tired of your text. So we've all gone home.
Oh no. I was on my I was on my phone data. I mean, that's great. I got LTE.
Dial up works good. Yeah,
dial up's working good.
Even though we're all working fine.
Yeah.
All right.
I
So
can hear fax machine buzz coming over the line.
yeah, I mean, try plugging the cord back in. All right, so let's go back to the you on tour with 6 other losers.
6 other losers. Well, yeah, that's basically kind of how it was. I was brand new with 7 other people, with the exception of Matt Cody, of course, who had some experience. And this was his first triple threat. So we were all kind of learning it all together. I would have to say it was maybe, I never really heard any crap that anybody talked about me or had anything to say. And I would ever said it to my face, you know. But, I don't know. I think that a lot of people kind of have a bad misconception about me and Adam and Ryan, and that we're kind of silver spoon children, and that we got handed everything. And, you know, in a sense, yeah, I mean, that can be true. But, you know, our dad worked really, really hard and sacrificed a lot, sacrificed, spending time with his family when we were younger, and him being on the road, and really putting in the time to his Gravedigger brand and the Gravedigger Empire and his truck and his racing and doing what he did, and all of that paid off. And now me, Adam, and Ryan are able to step into an arena or step into a stadium and have, you know, hundreds of Gravedigger fans, even thousands of Gravedigger fans. And that's all thanks to our dad. And I think Ryan has said this before. I think it would be so disrespectful for us not to reap the benefits of all of our dad's hard work, and, you know, carry on his tradition and carry on his legacy and carry on his hard work and the things that he did do that paved the way for us. He paved a path in gold for me, Adam, and Ryan. And like I said, if your dad worked so hard to do something like that for you, I think that it would be stupid if you didn't, you know, take advantage of that. But I think maybe there was maybe some naysayers in the background that I didn't really ever hear about or anything. I mean, everybody's always got something to say, but I think that a lot of people maybe were expecting me to come out and be a pretty heavy hitter. And just because of my family's background and Gravedigger and everything. And I'm not sure that a lot of people knew what to expect from me, but I think once the people on my tour got on the road with me, and they realized that I'm learning just as much as they were, and I had the upper hand on them because I had 3 of the very best teachers in the world in my ear. It was fun. I had a blast with my first year people that we were on the road with. We got freaking smoked by Justin Sipes in Megalodon. Oh well, freaking smoked by him by like 1,000 points, but we had a blast. I mean, and every year every year that I was on the Triple Threat Series, I made my way a few more places up the leaderboard, and that's all that mattered to me. Is it didn't matter about being in first place. It mattered about progression, and the fact that I was progressing and I was learning and I wasn't doing all this for nothing, and I wasn't putting all this hard work in for nothing. It was, you know, I ended my first year almost dead last. I mean, it was like I was 7th place in points. And then it was like my second year, I jumped all the way up to 5th place in points. And then my third year, I won the first weekend, and I was the points leader for a couple weekends. Then I was in top 3, and then I ended in the 4th place. And it just felt really good every year to be progressing like that. And that meant that I knew what I was doing. I was learning.
Well, it's nice to see you're not a complete disgrace to the family name.
Yes, thank you, God.
All right. Well, I'm sure we have questions, comments from our fans for you. So, Mr. Mason, take it away. What do they got for Miss Anderson?
Well, as I'm looking through a lot of comments going right now, I want to start off with Dustin Spallone's question asking Krysten, what was your most memorable Rookie of the Year mistake and or learning experience?
Okay, well, probably my biggest thing that I learned was where reverse was, because I don't even know how, because I think Charlie Pauken has done this a couple times in his career, and maybe Pablo, and I know Becky McDonough, but it's not an often phenomenon that happens back to back to back to back. And I mean, you know, 2 shows in one day back to back. And when it was called the wheelie competition before it was the 2-wheel skills competition. I would come up to one of the obstacles. It would always be the log stack or the 6-pack, and it was a very abrupt hit. And I would just come up, nose up to that thing, and I would air out a massive sky wheelie, massive migraine after that. And I would land so hard that my truck's rear end and the bumper would bury down into the clay and I would get stuck, and they would send the Lowell out there to push me down in every wheelie competition ever. And I think I did that a record of like 11 times in a row. The dirt crew had to come and push me down. And then that's when I learned where reverse was and to find it quickly. And yeah, that was probably one of my biggest learning curves my first year. And then after that, I stopped doing sky wheelies because I just kept getting stuck in them and my brain couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah, but it still looks cool.
Yeah, it was. It still was cool. If there was anything I got tagged in on a social media, Facebook, Instagram, it was endless pictures of me hanging there for dear life with the Lowell coming out to push me out. And they're like, Gravedigger gets stuck in Kansas. Gravedigger gets stuck in DC. Gravedigger gets stuck. I'm like, God, did y'all get any pictures of my freestyle? Did you guys get anything besides the freaking Lowell coming out to push me over?
Did Monster Jam call a bitch about diesel fuel there having to spend on just to knock you back down?
They actually, when I made the wheelie competition used to be 4 hits. I never, ever, ever got to make all 4 hits because of that. And one time in Rosemont, Illinois, the very last show of the weekend after Andrew had sat there and watched, 5 very pitiful wheelie attempts and getting stuck and sending the Lowell out, I made 4 wheelies, and he got me a cake. And it said 4 wheelies on it, and it had a Gravedigger toy on top. We celebrated that I actually made 4 wheelies.
Did you at least have the toy standing up on the cake, though, in a wheelie?
Yep, we sure did. It was a cake. It said 4 wheelies on it, and it had Gravedigger standing right there up on the tail end. It was a big celebration in the show office and in the catering room. Everyone was like, even Carmack, he was so relieved. He was like, yes, finally.
What else, Nathan?
Well, to maybe move off from getting stuck for I don't know how many times, here's one from how to maybe reflect on some better times. Wondering what was it like to win a freestyle at your very first Speedway show last summer in Stafford?
Oh man, it felt awesome, really, because that was maybe one of the most fun shows I've ever done. Was in Stafford Springs. It was my first Speedway show, and obviously my family's got a lot of history there. And the best part about it was I was there with Ryan. It was the first show I had ever competed against Ryan or been with Ryan, and to be honest, he kind of laid off me and really didn't give me a whole lot of pointers. He just was kind of like, just do your thing, man. Have fun. It's a Speedway show, it's just go out there and have a good time, put on a good show and learn some things. So I was like, all right. So I went out there, and that was maybe one of, honestly, right next to the All-Star Challenge was my first time on a big open track too, with more than just an arena pod to hit for freestyle. So I went out there, and it wasn't quite as overwhelming as a stadium, so I didn't feel like I got very lost. And I had a blast, man. That freestyle was so fun. I had such a blast. I was not expecting to win freestyle. I just went out there and had a good time. The crowd was loving it. The truck was running great. Everything was awesome. And then when they said I won freestyle over Ryan Anderson, the freestyle king, I was like, what? No way. So that kind of sits on my shelf of accomplishments right now, was beating Ryan in freestyle. But it was cool. I loved it. It was awesome.
Well, them racetrack shows, those are a lot of fun. I've done Bangor and and they kind of are a throwback. You can go back where it's kind of like it used to be with the way shows were, a little more relaxed and laid back and just a good old-fashioned good time.
Yeah, I agree. I thought the Speedway show was awesome.
What else you got, Miss?
Line up the next question right here from Jacob Koss. He's asking, if you could compete at any stadium, arena, Speedway, past or present, where would you want to tear it up?
Oh man, I think somewhere that would be really cool to go would maybe be right before when my dad had his last 35th anniversary there, or his 30th anniversary there, and he did really good down in Georgia. Was it the Georgia Dome he was at right down there?
Yep.
It was like
Yep.
2012. Yeah, it was in 2012. He did really great. He freaking was killing it for his 30th anniversary. He lit the freaking the stadium up. So I think that it would be really cool that maybe I had gotten to compete there before it had gotten taken down, because I know Adam was the last Anderson to compete there. And I think that would be really cool to go out there and maybe wrap it up down there in Georgia. But, you know, I think that would have been really cool, just because I remember my dad was on fire his 30th anniversary, and he did so good. And I know that he was really proud of that freestyle. So I think I'd like to go there.
Yeah, he beat us multiple times that year.
He was on fire that year.
He
I remember
was.
Andrew Kolachko told me a lot about it.
Yeah, that was a shitty year for some of us. Good for him, though. That's all I can say. Good for him.
Yeah.
What else you got, Mason?
Matthew Broussard's wondering, which of your brothers do you enjoy racing more?
Well, I haven't really got to race head to head with Adam yet. I know that we competed against each other on Team Fire and Team Ice at the All-Star Challenge, but him and I never were put in the bracket or lined up together. And the only brother that I've really lined up racing against is Ryan, and that was in Hagerstown. And that was some pretty interesting / sketchy fun racing there in Hagerstown. I mean, it was awesome because it was just straight line racing. I'd never experienced that before, but I think I have a picture on my Instagram, and me and Ryan are coming over the finish line neck and neck. I think that is the hardest I have ever stomped on a throttle before, the fastest I've ever shifted. The hardest racing I've ever done is when I knew Ryan was over there in the left lane. I was like, oh, I got him in Stafford Springs last weekend. I'm going to get him this weekend. But we came over the line. It was a photo finish, and Ryan snagged me. He got me at the very last minute there, I think, by a fraction.
You were robbed. It was all in the camera angle.
I know. I was probably robbed, because I know I felt like I was going 100 miles per hour down the 200 feet of the Speedway. I was like, I'm going to get him. I was probably doing 50.
He's 75.
Yeah.
What else you got?
Line up a few more, and actually, hang on. Your crew guy is actually watching with us right now, and Doug White has this to say: "Can't wait to get back in your ear. Orange fan will be ready when we get going."
Hey, Doug. I miss you, Doug. Man, that is the cool thing about Doug is we always had the most fun on the mic, on the headset. He's one of my favorite. I mean, I've had a lot of awesome crew chiefs. I've had Ryan Riddell, Fitchett, Brad, everybody, but me and Doug clicked really good. And every time I would get done with racing, if I did really well, I have a cup holder that he put inside my truck, and he would put an orange Fanta in there for me because that's my favorite drink. So, Doug, I'm looking forward to it.
Somebody's trying to bid for a promotion. Here, I thought I was putting air freshener in Dawn.
Let's see. Oh, we actually have one from one of our podcast buddies, Keith Gosh, and he's wondering, what is your favorite sandwich?
Favorite sandwich. Cheech.
I like how this is the hard.
This is, man. I don't know. I mean, I really appreciate a good sandwich. Really appreciate a good sandwich. I really liked, if he's getting on to the Pittsburgh thing, and I went and I got a sandwich from Permane Brothers, that one was pretty okay. I mean, it was okay, Cheech. I enjoyed it. But, I mean, nothing really beats my grandma's banana sandwiches that they make. I'm telling you right now. My grandma makes an awesome banana sandwich, and all it is banana and peanut butter and mayonnaise. And before you guys throw some shade, it is my
I've had 'em.
favorite, it's Ryan's favorite, it's Adam's favorite, and it's my dad's favorite.
That doesn't make it okay.
It's okay, okay? We're down here. We eat mayonnaise by the jar.
I love mayonnaise.
Well, try it on your banana peanut butter sandwich next time.
Well, see, this is why people need to watch the Crush This podcast. It's that kind of hard-hitting interview that they do every week.
Oh, yeah?
Okay. Not to cut in for, I don't know why, but I'm getting my messages are getting blown up right now to answer Phil V's question. I'm not sure if this is an inside joke between you guys on tour, but he's wondering, is this the real Krysten Anderson?
I don't know who. Yeah.
Huh.
Wait, who is
All
this?
right.
Phil V. What is
Phil
this?
Vincent.
Why am I having...
Phil Vincianaz, Mazda 66.
Yes. Yes. This is the real Krysten Anderson.
Well, thanks for clearing that up, because I've had like 6 people just blow up my phone right now to make sure to answer that question. That's been a first. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and put that away.
Wow, they really think I'm going to bring on a fake. Cool. Makes sense.
I don't know, guys. Should I see? I knew I should have worn my crew shirt.
Well, but I like the other option you gave me earlier better. On what to wear.
I got my Curtuck sports shirt on right now. It's my favorite.
Yeah, but it was the option you offered earlier. That's the better option that you didn't go with.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's true. Hey, you know, they would have really got to see the real Krysten Anderson.
Whatever helps the ratings.
Yeah, tune in.
What else we got, Mace? That's a good question.
Well, I try to, I guess, recuperate from that question there and try to get through the madness of that while, I guess, try to clear out the rest of all these comments coming in, because now they're all mixed up with everybody just posting whatever they want now. I'll go to our most favorite question we like to ask.
Yeah. About to explode.
Oh man, no, I'm not kidding you. I'm looking at my phone and on the screen right now. Everybody's just kind of gone haywire since that question, and just trying to make a sense of it all. But while I guess put that away, one question we like to ask to our guests is, what is your favorite on the road story, or your favorite story you like to tell?
That's not in a show.
Yeah.
That's not in a show?
Yeah,
so
so
I don't have a whole lot of stories I can tell here. Probably. I don't know. I'm kind of drawing a blank. I'm afraid to tell some stories on here because I've got some pretty funny stories.
We're not looking to get anybody in trouble. We're not looking to get anybody in trouble or anything.
Yeah. No.
It could be something goofy that happened in the tunnel one time. Somebody tripped and fell and ate shit running across the tunnel. Stuff like that. Let me. One of
my favorite things is seeing Ryan Riddell fall on the dirt trying to deliver somebody a hat. That was pretty awesome.
There you go.
Out there, or maybe this one time I was getting out of my truck and I had just won the wheelie competition. I mean, miraculously, I just won the wheelie competition, and I came out and I went to go step down for my first winning interview, and I was like, oh man, this is my moment. And I fell out of the truck and rolled my ankle right there. The whole crowd went, ooh. The whole crowd went, woo. Or maybe the time I ripped my pants on TV in front of the Diesel Brothers. That was sweet. Came out, maybe came into my first season with maybe too tight of a fire suit. I don't know. Maybe the holidays were good to me. and got in my truck. And I came out for the wheelie competition, and I just went to go lay in a giant sky wheelie, and I landed. And I don't know if it was just the force of me landing, but the freaking seam of my pants from my my inner thigh to my knee went and ripped wide open. And the best part is, I was the last truck that went, and I won. So I had to get out on the track in front of the entire arena with ripped pants, and I had bright pink Spanx on underneath of it. So there was no secret. I mean, I got it out, and I was walking to the girl, and I'm like, she goes, "Girl, your pants are ripped." I'm like, yeah, I know. So the first thing I said on the mic is, I was like, I wheelied so hard, I ripped my pants, and I showed everybody in the Jumbotron my ripped pants. So that was pretty spectacular.
If it makes you feel any better, we had Adam on here. He talked about when he filled in for your dad, and he was wearing a fire suit that wasn't his, and he got out on the track, and his pants fell down. So there you go. Not just you.
This is why the Andersons minus Ryan, me and Adam, we only wear onesie fire suits now, because we can't have no butt cracks slipping out or anything like that. We have to be wearing a full onesie.
Nope. Say no to crack.
Yeah. Yeah. Crack kills, kids.
Crack kills. All right, Mason, you got a couple more for her? Were you able to Mason? You okay now?
Yeah, after taking a quick breather and listening to that story and trying to cipher through all this, there's a few more good ones we can end on. We have one from our buddy Christopher Allen talking about something that's going to be coming up, I believe, on the 8th. And he's wondering, "Hi, Krysten, can't wait to watch you and your brothers set new records on the Discovery Channel. Can you talk maybe a little bit more on that, or maybe some details we can find out a little bit early on?"
Well, it is airing this Saturday, August 8th at 8/7 Central. You guys got to go on to Discovery Channel. It is going to be hosted by the Diesel Brothers and their crew. And yeah, it was really awesome. It was really fun. I was happy that I got to be a part of that, and especially be a part of it alongside my brothers. I will be attempting to set a high jump record, which will be so there's a little bit of rules and regulations you guys will find out when you watch the show that was actually set more by Guinness, because the object of it was to get in the Guinness book. So there are some rules and regulations and things that Guinness like to see. But the object of it was I'm supposed to be trying to beat Cynthia's current high jump record right now, the one that was done at the World Finals with the metal ramp, and it was set up how it was. So I'm excited for you guys to see how it turns out. We had some really, it was really cool down there. I don't want to give away too much because I want you guys to tune in. But yeah, we had Adam in Megalodon for the first time. Adam's never driven Megalodon, and he was doing the longest jump. And we had Bryce Kenny setting a speed record, or attempting a speed record, and Bari doing donuts, and Tom doing the nose wheelie, and a couple other really exciting things I think you guys are not going to want to miss, because some of it hasn't been mentioned yet. Some of it Monster Jam has not posted about yet. So you guys have to tune in, because I'm very excited to see that. Me and my family will be tuning in. So I think it's going to be awesome.
Right. That sounds cool. Let's check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll be
going
at
ahead.
show,
Go ahead.
I said I'll be at a show. I'll have to DVR it.
We'll go over it sometime, but I'm going to go ahead and end it off here with Brian Anger's question, asking, aside from Gravedigger, if you could drive any truck past to present, what truck would you choose and why?
So I was asked this before, and honestly, so the answer that I gave was I would like to drive my dad's first Gravedigger, not the mud truck, but Grandma Gravedigger, the one with the leaf springs, the one that was a TV star, that one. I would like to go and drive that and kind of see what that was like to drive a monster truck with maybe a lap belt and maybe an open face helmet and jump crush cars with leaf springs and see how that felt and kind of see what my dad went through. But I think
Arm
another
out
truck.
arm out the window with a cigarette in your mouth.
Yeah, just arm out the window, just so cool on TV. I think that would be pretty cool. But I think another truck I'd like to maybe try is maybe Jim Kohler's Avenger. And I'm not sure which Avenger, but I know that Jim Kohler builds some pretty tough trucks, and I know that Jim has got a pretty quirky way of how he likes setting things up or building things, but he airs those trucks out, man, and he puts them through a lot. So maybe if I could try Jim Kohler's Avenger and see how Jim Kohler's still walking around and standing and walking and talking and stuff after all these years and after all that abuse, I'd like to see what the method behind the madness was after all these years. So maybe Dad's first Gravedigger, or maybe Jim's Avenger.
That's actually one of our best answers I think we've ever had. Well, dear, I appreciate you coming on. You've been amazing, and sorry about the little bit of technical difficulties. But if people want to follow up and keep up on Krysten Anderson Quarantine Watch 2020, how can they do that?
You guys can follow me on my Instagram, which is Krysten.Anderson. And you guys can go and like my Facebook page too. I've got an athlete page on there. It's just Krysten Anderson. But I'm mostly active on my Instagram. And also you guys can reach out to me. I mean, like I said, I'm doing a whole lot of nothing. Whole lot of holding my bed down, holding my pillows down, making sure the TV doesn't walk off anywhere. And I've also gotten on Cameo. So if you guys, want to hit me up, or you guys have any kind of special messages, special requests, you need me to diss your friends for you or something, just hit me up on Cameo and I'll see what I can do.
Okay. Hang on. Hang on. There's an old guy in the room. What the bloody hell is Cameo?
You don't know what Cameo is? Okay.
Barely got
Cameo is kind of like a better way to kind of like filter out my DMs because, sometimes we get so many or overwhelming DMs and a lot of them is spam. And when you have a large account or a verified account, you get a lot of spam DMs. So if we can't reply to you guys in our DM requests or anything soon enough, it's probably because we don't see it. So if you guys hit us up on Cameo, it kind of filters that out because you can pay a fee. And how that works is when you pay that fee, your message directly comes to me. I'll get a notification about your message, your video, your request, anything you want me to say. Happy birthday, congratulations, somebody got married, somebody graduated, anything like that. And I will send you a special personalized video. Of course, I will be in my Gravedigger gear, and I will be by Adam's Gravedigger truck. We have Gravedigger number 35 at the NC shop right here. So I will do any kind of special shout outs or anything like that. And that's how Cameo works.
Holy hell, I'll just text you. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, just text me. Yeah, you can just text me, Cam.
All right, dear. Well, I appreciate you coming on, and thank you very much. Hopefully, we'll get to see you behind the wheel of a truck here very soon. But until then, make sure the bed stays in place and everything doesn't run away from you.
You can count on me. I'm doing what I can for my country right now. Just holding it down here in North Carolina. Don't you worry.
Well, make sure to cough into your elbow when you're at the dining room.
I will.
All right. We'll see you later.
Guys. See ya. Thanks for having me.
All right, Mason. We have some sponsor stuff to attend to.
Yep. As usual, we still have Florida Sauce Slinger's own Spur Hot Sauce. They are a local-based Florida business where the Southwest meets the Southeast in a clash of hot and tangy flavors. Next time you want to spice up your next meal, think of Spur Hot Sauce. Make sure to give them a like and contact on Facebook or Instagram and tell them we sent you. Also, we have Monster Truckinator TV, the place to go on Facebook and YouTube for all things monster truck related. And
all right.
With that, also another thing I was wanting to mention, don't exactly have a picture for it, but I don't know if you guys have seen it on a lot of our Two Extreme pages or our drivers. Don said it best a few episodes back, I should say, but Two Extreme Racing store merch store is actually open now. So make sure to go on Two Extreme's Facebook page or any of our drivers' pages for a little, I believe it is a discount for 10% off $50 or more.
Well, and also their website is up and going, bountyhunter4x4.com. So I guess we'll pimp their stuff for them. But all right. Well, great show. Appreciate everybody watching tonight. So, Mason, as far as this weekend's episode, are we doing what we talked about? Are we moving that to Monday for sure?
Yeah, we are actually moving our Sunday episode to Monday because you're going to be gone watching your son do a kick-ass job at driving, and I'm going to take a Sunday off and probably sleeping in all day. But Monday afternoon at the same usual time, we have our Sunday guests. We're actually going to be having the B team side and catch up with them on what they did in East Moline and catch up with Tyler Sanger and Austin Mitten. So it'd be good to catch up with some old buddies and, yeah, see where we go from there.
Yeah, so we'll have both of them guys on Monday night, 7 p.m. Like Mason said, I'm on the road this weekend. Those guys are on the road this weekend, so Sunday just wasn't going to work. So we decided, what the hell, we're not interfering with the other guys' podcast. So Monday night, just for one-time thing. So like I said, Austin Mittens, for those who don't know who that is, he drives our second bounty hunter, Jekyll and Hyde. He also, for Monster Jam, he drove Megalodon for the past couple of years. One of the truly, I would say, I wouldn't hesitate to really say one of the best up and comers. I mean, he is so good and keeps getting better. And so, yeah, and Tyler's just now started driving this year as our new driver for Iron Outlaw, and sometimes Jekyll and Hyde when Austin's in Bounty. So, yeah, we'll get them guys on Monday, like I said, 7 p.m. Central. With that said, Mason, you got anything else?
I was just going to say I hate both of them equally, and I can't wait to have them on Monday. But anything else you want to close out with?
That concludes this broadcast for the evening. So you some bitches leave so I can go to bed.
Peace.